Get dehydrated. Oh,
Hello,
there's our
once
contact.
again, boys and girls, children of all ages, and finally, welcome to another edition of B.L.G, which is my side project to the other two projects that I have going on. And just basically, if you like coffee, you like cigars, or you like golf, which I'm a fan of, you can join. You can be in it, be interviewed on this podcast. And with me, I was on his podcast once before, way
Hmm.
back when. What was it, about a month ago or something like that?
I would say like 2 to 3 weeks ago. It
Two to
feels like
three
it's been
weeks ago.
longer.
Okay. Smoke now is a smoke and revelry, right? Or
Yeah,
something like that.
that's the name of my
Revival.
brand. Yeah,
Yeah, your
Revelry.
brand and
You
all
got
that.
you. Yeah, you got it. Smoke and Revelry is my main brand, and yeah, that's what I do all my cigar stuff on.
Ah, now oh, by the way, this is Kyle, who's I've been on his podcast before, and we're just gonna shoot the shit and talk about cigars and other shit that,
Hmm.
like my other podcast and see where it goes from there.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, I'm
So,
2 out of 3. I like beans and leaves as opposed to greens. I don't golf.
oh, all right. I got you. I got you. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. I get more people that do coffee and I actually have somebody that I'm gonna catch up with her. She's starting her own drive-through coffee shop.
Nice.
She has her own make of beans now. Is crazy. I followed her from day one, and it was like amazing. Because if you don't know, obviously you probably do know, I have a coffee page on Facebook.
Hmm.
All things coffee. So she actually messaged me and she asked me if it was okay for her to post stuff on my page. I was like, yeah, go ahead. If it's coffee related, it's fine. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it and all that. So, first question is, how did you come up with the name of your podcast?
Uh, well, like the to kind of backtrack quite a ways, when I initially started doing cigar media, I was known as Dad Smoking Cigars.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it with my buddy Tim, he's also a cigar media guy. His name is his brand is Cigar Show Tim. You may have heard of him.
Yeah.
Um, but we during COVID, it was just becoming too challenging to keep up doing, it together. So we kind of very amicably parted ways and did our own thing. And I was still dad smoking cigars for about 3 more years. And then I just felt like I was getting pigeonholed. And I was just like,
Mm.
I got to come up with something that's a bit more open-ended and something that anybody could relate to. Not everybody's a dad. Not everybody got into smoking cigars through their dad like I did. I'm pretty sure I told you about that when we were chatting on my podcast. And so I came up just smoke and revelry because smoke, pretty self-explanatory. Revelry is just the idea of enjoying life lively and loudly, just really, getting the most out of life and celebrating and stuff like that. Cigars and coffee and golf and drinking. It
Yeah.
just you get to do all that kind of great stuff, and that's all a revelry of its own. So that's what I came up with. And then when I was thinking about starting a podcast again, because I would post like product highlights and stuff like that on my
Mm-hmm.
YouTube and whatnot, I was just like, I really want to podcast again where I have guests instead of everybody just having to look at me all the time. And
Yeah.
I kind of got tired of hearing my own voice. So I was just like, you know what, let's get some other people on here. And so yeah, last March, so it's just been over a year. And as you saw on my socials, season 2 of the Revelers Roll podcast, which you asked, how did I come up with the name? And just the idea that I feel like people who are, celebrate and enjoy revelry, they're the ones who get the most out of life, and we rule at life,
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I thought that was pretty appropriate, and yeah, no, it's been great. I last year I had like I think about 7 or 8 episodes, and then life happened. I had to get a new laptop, and
Yeah,
without
that sucks.
yeah, without getting too deep into it. But then, this year rolls around and things are kind of gaining momentum and I have a little bit more time on my hands. And I was just like, hey, you know
Hmm.
what? I'm gonna get the podcast back going, get some new people on, have some familiar faces on as well. And you were my second guest. And
Yeah,
so
I
yeah,
saw that. I was like,
so
oh
it's
wow, he's got fans. So I was like, oh, this is good. Uh, so how is it like now? You posted on your, I reach out to you because you put it up on Facebook and all that. How do you reach out to people? Like if you want this person on your podcast or something like that. I know you had Kevin from Cigar Prop on and all that.
mhm.
How did that
It's
come
just
about?
I just shot him a message because and I do need to hit up Kevin. I haven't talked to him in a good minute. I know he's an extremely busy guy and life just happens all the time. And so yeah, him and I were talking a lot during that time, and he actually helped me out greatly during that time to kind of help me really get the most out of what I was doing with my socials and networking and what
Right,
he's responsible for getting me in touch with and connected with Smoke In,
right,
the monthly subscription box. And so um I got to talk with Abe, who's a great guy. And we had a chat and conversation, and he agreed to let me do like a 6 months trial run where I promoted Smoke In and I smoked the cigars in their box, and he gave me a special code to give people so that if with their first order they get like a perfect cutter and a lighter, exclusive Smoke In merch and stuff like that. So it was going really great. We had the 6 months passed, and I'm thinking, you know what, if that's it, that was great. I had a really good time. It was really great to support them and vice versa. And then come November, I get an email from them saying, hey, we're giving you another 6 months. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome. So I was really, really excited and happy about that. And they're continuing to send me a box every month with 5 cigars, and they're always phenomenal picks every single
right.
month. Abe really knows his stuff, and he hand picks each cigar. And the cool thing about that is through Smoke In and me plugging one of the cigars from my first box from Cigar Clowns, they hit me up and they
Mm.
wanted to be on the podcast. And then they sent me, not too long ago, they just sent me a care package with a bunch of their cigars and some of the Chafia collection, which I'm smoking right now. And if you're not familiar with
Mm.
Chafia, they make really great cigars, but the portion of their proceeds goes towards promoting awareness and also combating human trafficking. So you're getting
Oh
great cigars
wow. Okay.
and supporting a great cause. So and they were my after you I they were the ones that I had on my podcast, Ray and Joe from Cigar Clowns, really great guys. It's just been it's just me reaching out and seeing if anybody bites, seeing if anybody is
Yeah.
interested in jumping on a really obscure podcast, that really
Yeah.
not too many people have heard about. Um, but yeah, no, it's been really great. My first guest last year, she was actually a former college professor of mine, and
Right.
she
Okay.
and yeah, I think I told you about that when you were on my podcast, is that she published her first book about 3 years ago, and it's a memoir about living in and escaping a family cult. So
Ooh. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah. I heard about that. Yeah, I think you
yeah.
mentioned that.
And I mean, she was on Joe Rogan. She was on a couple really big name podcasts, including Megan Kelly and stuff like that, and a
Mm.
couple other people. And just she got really great promotion and distribution, and she agreed to be on my podcast, and it was great. So it was really nice to get her on. And yeah, I've had some really great people on the podcast, and I'm looking forward to seeing who else might be willing to jump on this season.
Yeah. Um, so since we're talking about that, I was like, you already said on what you're smoking. I'm smoking the, what is it called? The Charter Oak, if you could see
Ah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good smoke.
Charter Oak by Foundation. I mean, I don't, when I see it, I pick it up. and everything else. And I was looking at the reviews. They got like 4-star reviews. I was like, it's a good smoke. I was like, I'm looking through my humidor and I'm like, what am I gonna smoke? I was gonna pick up a couple of cigars and all that.
Hmm.
And I was like, what should I, let's see what I have in the humidor. But I had this sitting there and I was like, oh, I haven't smoked this one in a while. I was like, let me since it's I'm usually my day off, I'm usually like a 2 to 3 cigars in when I'm off. But today was like, since I'm doing all this running around, then I got to pick up my son, then went to go play golf, and went things get
Yeah.
in the way, obviously. And I was like, well, I got the
Yeah.
podcast with Kyle, so let me just smoke one up and find out. So I don't think I ever asked you this, but how many cigars do you go in a day?
I honestly sometimes I might have two or three on a good day, but then other times, especially because, I'm a dad of young kids. I got, a an 8-year-old and an almost 13-year-old. And so, they go to two different schools. I got other things
Yeah.
going on throughout the day that make it difficult for me to get in here and sit down and smoke. So, if I'm lucky, I might on average get one a day. Um,
Mm.
it's also I try to kind of not smoke crazy frequently because I'm running low on stock and
Right.
I can't just go out and buy some stuff because I live in California, so it's
Yeah. Tell me about
ri
it.
ridiculous. I mean, you said you live in New Jersey.
New Jersey.
So yeah, I mean New Jersey and New York, they still got some pretty, high taxes on tobacco and prices and whatnot. So it's not like you're getting it much cheaper than what we got out here. But yeah, it's one of those things where, every now and then I might be able to buy some. I'm very fortunate in that I am connected with and good friends with people, in different brands that are very kind and generous, and they will sometimes just send me things
Right.
and whether I ask or not. And so, um, but yeah, and that's where I got a lot of my cigars from. And again, that's like it's a huge blessing because it's not the expectation. It's just people are very in this industry are very amazing and kind. So I've been
Yeah.
very blessed by that. And so I just try to savor it and not blow through it too fast and take it for granted
Yeah.
because it could
That's
be gone tomorrow.
like my wife would ask me, I was like, she'll ask me an hour ahead of time. I was like, do you want to go for a walk around our development? I was like, yeah. I was like, well, I'll give you an hour to pick your cigar because I will go through. I'll literally go, well, I don't want to smoke that. I don't want to smoke this and whatever. It's like my wife with her nails. She does color streak on the side, and she goes from like her trying to pick out a set of nails is like me trying to pick out my cigar. I was like, now you know how it feels. And all that. Actually, with my trip going down North Carolina, I was like, you know what? I gotta go buy a couple of bundles of cigars. So at least I have something in my humidor. I mean, they're getting big. There's a lot more, what I'm hearing is there's a lot more places that I go to and you know go down there and all that. Like last year, I went down there and I went to like 4 cigars lounges. I was like, oh wow. I was like, okay. I mean, they're like cigar shops slash tobacco places where you could get like rolling papers and all that, but they have a good supply of cigars as well, and not bad. I mean. I try to. What was your first cigar that you ever smoked, if you can remember?
I can remember actually, and it's a brand that I still have connections with, thankfully. It's a brand called I don't know if you've ever heard of Kojimar.
Mm, I think I smoked them once before, I think.
Yeah, they specialize in flavored and infused cigars. That's literally their whole thing. They don't make They don't make anything other than, I mean, they obviously have different blends and stuff for their different smokes and all that, but they do different flavors and whatnot. And the first one that I ever tried was vanilla flavored. And it
Mm.
was actually like sugar tip too. So, and you want to talk about coffee, that was a great cigar to smoke with a cup of coffee. And it was fantastic. But yeah, that's, I mean, like a lot of people who started smoking cigars, usually they started with like a flavored one just to kind of
Right,
break
yeah.
themselves in. And I was no different. Yeah, I was 19. This was back in when it was legal to purchase tobacco at 18 in California, and then they changed the law
Right.
some years after. So I was lucky enough to get started a little early, but
Yeah.
it wasn't until like about 8 years ago that I really started smoking more frequently. Like I would deliberately go out of my way to smoke a cigar.
Mm.
The wife wasn't a fan at first. She doesn't care for him.
Yeah.
She hates how I smell afterwards. And but over time she kind of, got acclimated to me smoking them more frequently. She still hates being around me after I smoke. So,
Yeah.
but she's been pretty supportive of this and all the stuff that I do. So I really can't complain at all. And she's she's always happy when on the times when I get cigars sent to me and we don't have to purchase them because, you know, it's expensive out here. So she
Yeah.
likes the fact that I have the connections that I do, and I'm super grateful because again, it could be gone tomorrow. I try not to take
Right.
it for granted. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was my
Me and
first.
my wife is, she knows that I could be doing a lot more. I was like, oh, I was like, people come up to her and say, your husband smokes in the house, da 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 da. I was like, how can you have him smoke it? I was like, he can choose a lot more other stuff, a lot more bad stuff. I was like, I told you
Hmm.
this on the on your podcast. I'm 3 months sober. I was like, what would you rather me do? Buy alcohol or buy cigars or golf,
Right,
one or the other. She goes, they're too expensive, but I'd rather have you do that than drink and all that. And obviously,
right.
everybody knows what happened at that time or whatever, but we won't get into that. That'll be for another podcast. Maybe another podcast that'll fucking bring up that'll start another one. I mean, I have three of them right now, and I'm like, I'm trying to keep track of every single podcast is strange because
Yeah.
TFP is starting up. I'm trying to branch out a little bit more and whatever and get my name recognized more and all that.
Hmm.
And starting the store and starting this, starting that, and making bets and all that. So I know you're not a big sports fan, right?
No, that's my dad's thing, and I tried to get into it when I was much younger, but it just never took.
He never put you in like Little League Baseball or anything for that matter.
Well, no, he did. But when I was a kid, he asked me if I wanted to, and I did, and I enjoyed it. Like a lot of kids, I started out doing like T-ball when I was super young, like kindergarten, first grade, and then I did, Little League for a couple years, and I think the last year I did it, I did kind of piss him off that last year that I did it because about halfway through the season, I just said I don't want to do this anymore. And instead of riding it out to the end of the season, I just decided to stop going to practice and stuff. And he wasn't thrilled with that. And he also the rest of my teammates were actually kind of pissed at me because like I still showed up at closing ceremonies because my dad insisted, and I still got a trophy, and my teammates were kind of just like, you're a dick, So it was just like I was 12, and it was like, a couple guys were like, you don't deserve that trophy. I'm like, dude, what do you want? Just leave me alone. I was like, it's over,
Yeah,
it's done.
that's
I'm not
like
coming back.
yeah, it's hard with me. My son, he's like, I want to do this. I want to do. When he was young, he's like, I want to do baseball. I was like, okay. I was like, oh, that would be great because baseball's my sport. I played all the way up to college.
Hmm.
So he said, then he stopped. Then he said, I want to get back and whatever. I was like, all right, that's fine, whatever. And then he fell back out again. And, if you want to do it, then do it. It's not a big deal. I don't
Right.
care about that. Now he's doing like, he said he wanted to go into boxing. So I did boxing. Then he had like some medical things going on and all that, so he stopped doing that. Now he's doing like MMA stuff, like with grappling and all that.
Okay.
So I don't even say. I was like, Dad, I want to do this. That's fine, no problem. He's like 21 now, and I'm like, yeah, you kick my ass now, but I can still kick you a golf. So,
And now my dad, well, I would actually end up playing football in junior high and about 3 years in high school before I finally had enough. Like, and I actually waited until like it was all done. It was just like off season training, and then I just told my dad, I said, I can't keep doing this because I'm losing my summers. I do all training all summer long, and then come like preseason, it was like the two a days, which
oh
sucked.
yeah,
I hated those. And I was like, I don't want to do this another year. Both my parents were actually pretty upset because they said, well, I thought this was going to be a 4 year commitment. And it's like, I never actually agreed to that, but okay. And then, they said, well, if you're not going to play sports, you got to get a job. And I think they thought I would say no to that. Like I would rather play sports than get a job. I was like, if
right.
I was like, make money. Okay, cool. And so I got my first job senior year, and I was just like, it was, I enjoyed that year a lot because I didn't have to play sports and I had more time for other things, and it
Yeah,
wasn't dominating my life. So it was, yeah, it was nice to be done with that and to be able to move on to other things. And yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but then after a while it just stopped being fun. And if it's not fun anymore, you really shouldn't do it.
yeah. There you go. I
So
mean, now when you go and smoke a cigar and all that, it's like, well, I haven't had one. Do you get the fiending like a cigarette, like you got a fiend for a cigar?
no, it's just more of a mood that hits me where it's like I never Jones for a cigar. Like, there are times when like you think about people who often say like after a rough day or a long week, it's like, oh, I could use a drink, you know.
Right.
And for me, sometimes that's true. I honestly don't drink much. I used to drink quite a bit, like especially during the pandemic when just everything was stressing me the fuck out. So alcohol was
Yeah.
like what I went to
It was
quite
your
a
only
bit.
source.
Yeah, exactly. So, thankfully it never got out of control. It was just something that I would have like maybe one or two drinks a day for a while. And then it just like, once the alcohol ran out, then it wasn't something that was an option. And so that was good. But yeah, with cigars, it's more of just a mood. Like, I think to myself, like, oh, you know what? A cigar sounds good right now. I could really go for a cigar. Or if it's been a particularly rough day, I'm like, a cigar would make me feel so much better right now. Not because of the any like nicotine buzz or feeling like that, but it's just like I love cigars for the flavor. I love them for the experience. They're very, very relaxing, and it can be the best thing. I mean, yeah, obviously I smoke cigars and make content, which is fun, but
Hmm.
honestly, one of my favorite things to do is come in here. I mean, I have my own little man cave, so I can come in here
Yeah.
and relax. I got a TV to my left, and a lot of times once I'm done kind of doing my work, as it were, especially if it's at night, I'll just kick back. I can actually dim the lights in my studio, and I just sit in my comfy chair, watch a movie or two, and enjoy a cigar or two until
Yeah, there you go.
I get tired and go to bed.
My wife always says, I was like, you have a thing before I decided to develop another podcast. I was like, you sit down, you have your cup of coffee, you put your headphones in, you light your cigar, and then you're just researching bands or whoever wants to be on your podcast or who you think is going to be on the podcast and all that.
Hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, that's my out. I was like, I go to work, I do what I gotta do, then I come back. I'm like, do I really want to do this? And then, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's times I'll sit on the couch and just like pass out and not do one damn thing. I was on the couch and I was like, oh, I have a podcast today. I have an interview today. I was like, damn. And then my phone go off. I was like, oh, you got a podcast. It's like your appointment. I was like, oh yeah, I just sent them the link and whatever. So,
Mhm.
sometimes that, and I look forward to these podcasts you know,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the hell is going on? So now I know that, with the coffee and all that, do you have what's your go-to order in coffee?
Well, the coffee that I buy most often, because I make my coffee at home all the time. I very rarely go out to any coffee shops just because I mean the
Right.
only coffee shops that are around here are mainly like franchise coffee shops like Starbucks and whatnot. There's a
Yeah.
couple like little places and stuff like that.
Like
But
mom and
just be
pop stops.
yeah, little spots like that at a couple corners of the town where I live. But for the most part, I usually get Cafe Bustelo because
Mm,
I like the espresso grind. That's kind of like my one of my favorite types of grinds when it comes to coffee. I I have a bean grinder, but I usually try to get the grounds, and depending
right.
on what's available, I may try to just grab a bag of beans and I'll grind them up piecemeal and kind of make my coffee that way. But um Cafe Bustelo, and it's interesting because I didn't know or about that brand or have tried it until my friend Luis Cuevas of Casa Cueva Cigars. I remember years ago, he sent me and my friend Tim, he sent us both a brick of Cafe Bustelo because he said
Right.
this is the closest thing to Cuban coffee in the States.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he sent us a little percolator
Ooh,
and
okay.
he sent us like four very limited rare edition cigars that they had. Um
Hmm.
because a funny story behind that, they made these like two limited run cigars, and there was a Maduro and then there was a Habano, and they were like a Lonsdale like Flaco type thing.
Hmm.
So they were long cigars, and their warehouse got busted into and cleaned out.
Wow.
Yeah, just they're in Miami-Dade in Florida, and so these guys they made like a 3 by 3 hole in the wall of their factory in Miami. They went in there and they cleaned them out, and it
Wow.
was and they used a sledgehammer to do that. And
Wow.
what's cool is that after that situation, they started to recoup. They made a new cigar called gosh, my mind is blanking right now. Basically, it's sledgehammer in Spanish, and that's what they called the cigar.
Oh,
And
okay.
so it was a pretty cool situation to come out of it. Like, it could have ended there, but they still kept on going and they still are doing their thing. And just recently got in touch with Lewis, and yeah, so he's a good guy, and he got me into Cafe Bustelo, and that's honestly what I've been drinking for years now.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I
But
think I tried that once and it didn't mess me up, but I was like, that is some strong ass coffee.
I love it strong. Like my caffeine tolerance is ridiculous. It's gotten to the point
Yeah.
where like I could have like I had one of these earlier today because I'm out of coffee. I had a Celsius,
Yeah.
which,
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's
which is
good.
200 milligrams caffeine, and that just kind of perks me up a little bit. Where
Yeah.
like my wife can't even finish a can of that because it gives her the jitters.
Right. Yeah.
And
It's like
so me, I
my wife.
yeah, I can have a can of that, and I'm like, sometimes it doesn't even do anything. I was just like, my caffeine tolerance is so high, but I love a really good strong cup of coffee. I've drank stuff like Brazilian coffee,
Hmm.
which my wife has family in Brazil, and whenever they come visit, they usually bring me like 3 or 4 bricks of some of their best coffee, and
Wow. Okay.
which is great because then I get to drink that for like probably about 2, 3 months, and but Yeah, like a lot of people when I first started drinking coffee, which was about a year after I got married, just because I needed, something to kind of wake me up in the morning. Prior to that, I never needed it, but I drank Folgers, which that stuff is garbage.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Mhm.
It's absolute garbage, and it also messes me up, like messes up my system because I don't know what they use to process their grounds, but it's just nasty. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. So,
So I'm like us. I mean, my wife today, she made I have a Keurig, but it's one of those dual ones that you could
yeah, I have the
make
same one.
grounds, make a pot of coffee, or you could do the K cups. And I usually do the K cups because it's me, basically. I mean, my wife, I'm the only one that in my family, I'm the only one that drinks coffee. My sister
Mhm.
doesn't drink it, my mother doesn't drink it, and at that time, my father wasn't drinking. So I'm drinking coffee and all that. So I have like 2 cups of coffee in the morning. And then when I go to work, I do Dunkin' Donuts on the go and I get another cup of coffee. And if I get home, I'll try to drink another cup of coffee. I mean, people drink like half and half or decaf at night because it'll keep them up. Not me. Now, I could drink a cup of coffee and then go right to sleep, basically.
Same, same.
Yeah.
I
My
I
my
sometimes
co and my wife would say you drink coffee like it's a shot of espresso. Like if you're taking a shot of alcohol. I was like, I'm used to it. It's like, don't I'll take like 3 sips and all of a sudden, bang, gone. My wife is like, you're crazy, you're insane, and all that.
Yeah, I'm the same. I could have a cup of coffee after dinner, and every now and then I'll do that where I'm like, you know what, a cup of coffee sounds good. I'll just pour myself like a single serve cup. Um, I have that like my K cup so I can put whatever grounds in it that I want. And just have a cup, maybe a little sugar. I used to have like a lot of cream in my coffee, but I don't do that anymore because it's just yeah, my I'm getting older and my system tolerates this kind of stuff less and less, you know. So little sugar or a little honey in my coffee, and I'm good. And it could be at 8 o'clock at night, and honestly, it I could still go to sleep. Yeah, a couple hours
Wow.
or so later. So even if it's a strong cup.
Now, what is your favorite cigar? Like are you a Maduro guy, Connecticut guy?
Um, I like everything from like medium to full.
Right. Okay.
Those are my go-tos. I
Same
do
here.
there's only so many Connecticut's that I like because
Right.
this isn't to rag on any brand or any cigar company. Not every cigar company gets a Connecticut right.
Right.
Um, there's been Connecticut's I've tried from really great cigar companies that just did not really work for me.
They,
Um,
they, they didn't knock it out of the ballpark.
No, just they start off good and then they start to get a little too bitter too fast and
Right.
con Connecticut's are really delicate, so sometimes like the wrapper can come unraveled depending on
Oh
like
yeah.
where
Tell
you're
me about
smoking them. I remember one time I smoked a Connecticut um outside of my patio when it was particularly cold, which doesn't happen often here in California, but it happened to be a cold night. And like after smoking it for a little bit, the wrapper just unraveled. It
it.
was nuts. And like when I posted about it, I'm like, this is a bummer. I said it's kind of crazy that it just did that. And the manufacturer actually hit me up because I didn't like bash it. I didn't say this cigar is a piece of shit. You know,
Right.
I just said this is crazy. I was like, I've never had this happen before. And they hit me up and they said we're sorry this happened, but the Connecticut wrappers we use are fairly delicate, and when it's cold, they don't hold up very well. And I was like, okay, well that makes sense, you know, whereas other rappers, the darker rappers, I never had that happen.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, no, I've gotten kind of like my coffee, I like my cigars on the stronger side.
Well,
And
with me, I started Well, obviously I started light and then, I grew up to medium to full
Hmm.
and all that. So usually one time, if it's a really dark cigar, I'll smoke it. And I always tell everybody, smoking a dark cigar, I was like, have something in your stomach. Because if you smoke on an empty stomach, you're gonna you're gonna feel it. And I felt
Yeah.
it a couple of times. I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's been a long time since that's happened to me. Like, and
right.
I remember a long time ago, I put out a couple of videos on how to avoid cigar sickness
Hmm.
and whatnot. And that's one of the things I tell people is like, make sure you have at least a little something in your stomach. Make sure you have some food in your system, especially if you're going to smoke something on the stronger side. Because I remember in the earlier days when I was getting more and more into cigars and I was smoking more often. I remember I smoked a particularly strong one, and it's not that I didn't have anything to eat, but there was a fairly big gap in between when I ate and when I smoked. And
Right.
it was one of those things where like I'm sitting, relaxing and smoking it, and then I stood up, and then
Oh yeah, that'll do.
I was like, whoa. I was just like, and it was actually a CAO Brasilia, which I actually really like those. Those are really good.
Yeah.
But this was like 8 years ago. I was in my patio, I smoked it, and I stood up and I'm like, whoa, that cigar kicked my ass.
Yeah,
And
that I haven't smoked a CEO in I smoked a Brazilian. What other one that I haven't smoked in a while? The flat anything CO flatheads?
I just got like a new edition flathead in my smoke inbox. I almost smoked that, but I wanted to smoke something that was a little bit shorter. You know what I
Right.
mean? But yeah, I have. Oh gosh, it's funny you mentioned CAO flathead. I got two CAO flat. They're technically flatheads, but they're the Steel Horse, which is a 7 by 70.
Ooh, wow. 7 by
So
70.
yeah, so 7 inches long and a 70 ring gauge. I've only smoked it once before, and it took me 3 hours to smoke that thing.
Wow.
Like, it's gonna sound funny, but like that thing hurt to put my mouth around. It was just that big, which blows me away when I see people smoking those novelty cigars that are like nine
Yeah.
by 90, like the
Oh, no.
friggin' yeah, it's
I
ridiculous.
think
There was like the
60 for me is the most I would do. Maybe
yeah,
60.
yeah. No, I remember there was
I
that
mean,
April Fool's cigar by
uh,
Asylum 13, and that was like a
oh
nine
yeah,
by
yeah.
90.
I've had a couple of asylums and they're no joke. Those ring
Mm-mm.
gauges are ridiculous.
Especially the Ogre. And they name it that for good reason because that thing's massive. But
The one time my wife came in with me, he goes, she gave me this scar. She goes, how about this one? Oh, actually, when I was in I visit one of my friends in Portridge, Michigan.
mhm,
And right across the street was this place called Wild Bill's, which was a
yeah.
cigar shop and whatever. So I go in there and the thing looked like a freaking nightstick. Yeah. I was like, let me buy this one. She looked at me, she goes, nah, don't think so. Now, I think the ring gauge had to be like an 80.
Oh.
I was like, screw that shit. I'm done. I'm done with that. So what is your favorite cut?
Um, it's a toss up in between punch and V cut.
Really?
Uh,
Wow.
yeah, no, that's not to say because like I have this lighter that I use. It's actually got a cutter built in. It's got a butterfly cutter.
Oh yeah,
I use
I have one that's I have it over there. It's got a cutter, it's got a V cutter, and it's a cigar rest. And I got it actually. Kevin from Cigar Prop gave me a code, and he's working with one of the guys, and I forgot what the
mhm.
name of the cigars were. I mean the maker. I forgot what it was. I follow him on Instagram. It's like, I mean, I have three. I have one of my cutters I have, and I haven't used it in a while. I'll bring it out. It's a not a Zycar. It's from Cigar Medics.
Yeah, yeah, Cigar Medics. Yeah,
They
they make a good
have
cutter.
something called the Baller.
Yes,
It's
it's a ball cut. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. I was like, oh, let me try this one. It looks like more like a punch a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It just scoops it out, which is, I'll take it out on the road with me when I go traveling and all that. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing. That's the
Yeah,
most
no.
I ever get. My favorite cut is the V cut. I'll do a V cut like 90% of the time. And then I'll do a straight cut. Punch, I rarely, maybe 2% of the time I'll do a punch.
Yeah, like a lot of these cutters that I have, and I think I mentioned it when we talked last, is this it's from this brand called Xifi, which they've sent me
Hmm.
a number of products, and a lot of the pretty much all the lighters that I use, lighters and cutters, come from them. I mean, this is like it's got a butterfly cutter, it's got a punch on the side, it's a cigar rest on the back, and of course, it's a lighter. So, but yeah, no, they come with a lot, and a lot of times I just like to use the punch just because I mean, maybe I'm being lazy, I don't know what, but
Right,
it's one of those things where like, you know what, I feel like just going simple and I do a punch. And I will say this though, uh punch can be risky because especially if your cigar is a little dry around the cap, if you
right.
depending on how you punch it, it makes the cap kind of come undone a little bit, and that's kind
Oh
of
yeah.
messed up a couple of my smoke sessions because it messed with the cap and I had to like
Yeah.
slobber all over just to smooth it down.
Yeah, exactly. My wife will like I'll cut a cigar and I'll like start cursing up a storm because what happened? I was like, what's the matter? I was like, my cigar's ra unraveling and all that. Once it unravels, like the whole entire the leaf would come off, and I'll be like, and then like maybe a little bit, then all of a sudden the whole entire wrap will come off. I was like, no, this is a no-go.
Yeah, if you're lucky, it won't do that until like the very end, which I've had that happen with
Yeah,
cigars, which they held on for dear life through like half the smoke. And then it's like halfway through or two-thirds through, it just started to come undone. That's it. I'm done. It sucks when it's in the beginning because like part of you, well, I'll try to smoke it with just the binder and it just doesn't do it. It can't do it. It won't
no,
work. So yeah, it ruins the whole experience if you cut it wrong or if you cut it at the wrong angle or if your cigar, the conditions in your humidor aren't like that great. Which I really try to keep them on par. Like in all my cigars, I try to keep it no lower than like 68, 69 relative humidity.
right.
Um, Otherwise they do start to dry out and they do start to kind of not be as good when you smoke them. Because if you've ever smoked a dry cigar,
Oh
it
yeah,
it
this
will mess you up. Like I'm not even kidding. The one time I
like
did it,
sucking
I remember,
a golf ball through a garden hose.
well, not even necessarily that, but like I feel like because it's not properly humidified. I remember one time a job that I boss, he was given a cigar, but he doesn't smoke. And he asked me if I smoke cigars. I'm like, yeah. And he said, yeah, you can have it. Well, I didn't have a humidor at the time, and
Right.
I glove compartment and forgot about it. And it was like during
Mm.
summer. And then I
Oof.
remembered it and I got it out and I'm like, maybe it'll still be good. And so I went on my patio and I smoked it and I had the worst headache
Oh
after
yeah.
that. Like the nicotine like just went into my system so hard it was insane. And so yeah, I know I haven't done that since. I'm pretty strict about like how much humidity is in my because I got like this one and this one here, and I got a tabletop humidor over here to my left, and they all have cigars in them, and they're all around the same relative humidity, like in between
Right.
68 and 70, which is the like to keep it. I know technically you can keep it like 65% and it'll be fine. But yeah, I really try to keep it as
So,
on top of it as possible.
so there was one question I actually asked Kevin. I said, listen, I was like, I got a cooler door that I keep all my cigars in. I was like, what should like what Bovida pack should I throw in there if I need to? He's
Hmm.
telling me, he goes, really, you don't need a Bovida pack if you just, with the seal and all that. I was like, okay. I was like, just, and I flip around with the outside temperature once in a while. I have a
Hmm.
hygrometer in there just to
Hmm.
see just to see. And right now I'm at like 68%, 68, 69%. I mean, I go in there and I'm like, okay, that's good. I mean, I don't like it stiff. My cigar stiff. I like them like just a little flimsy. Because there's
Yeah.
sometimes that I'll go in there and I'll take one and it's squishy as hell.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Like you want it to have a little give, but not a lot.
Right.
You want it to be
No.
soft enough to where you can kind of press it and it just a little bit. But yeah, if you got a cigar that's squishy, it's not going to smoke well.
No. There's one time my wife, like you said, with the cigars in like in New York and in what even here in New Jersey, I mean the prices are the markups are ridiculous. So I'll go over there. We went to Staten Island. So I'm looking around. I'm like, I can't find a cigar that I was like, oh, I get a brick house and get this. So my wife actually gives me a cigar. She goes, oh, I found an $8 cigar for you. I looked at it. I was like, that's a factory. That's a factory smoke. And don't get me wrong, some of the factory smokes are good.
Yeah.
I'll buy actually, I have to order a bundle. I get them off of JR, the factory smokes, but they're like Robusto size.
Hmm.
Now, what size do you like? You smoke anything, really?
I prefer either Robusto or Pro because those are, those are the ones that aren't going to take forever. And
Right.
even if you don't have a ton of time, you can still smoke. You can probably still have time for a second cigar if you time it out right. If I have a
Hmm.
Robusto and I only have like a few hours to spare, then I could probably have a Robusto and then have either another Robusto or Toro and still like get a good, two,
Yeah.
3 hours in and smoking. And it's yeah, I mean I like the torpedoes too, but those are like still kind of like a Toro size. They're just a different shape. Like I like if it's a Robusto or Toro, and even if it's like a torpedo or a Perfecto. I don't know if you've had a Perfecto where
Yeah, I'm still I mean, I've been smoking cigars for so long, I know some of the words. I don't know all of it.
yeah, no, Perfecto is like that kind of oddly shaped cigar where it's
Hmm.
like just has a very small opening at the foot. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's almost
Okay.
kind of narrow. And yeah, there's
Oh
even
yeah,
like
oh, that's what it's called. All right.
yeah, and there's even one like called a chisel, which I've only had a couple times where it's shaped like a chisel. Like
Really? Wow.
it's almost kind of like a cone shape, except it's flat at the top.
Hmm.
Um, and usually a V cut is best for those. But yeah, there was I think it was Amendola that made one that was just called the chisel. And yeah, they make some great cigars, and I tried that once and it was good, man. It's been years since I've had it, but yeah, it's kind of it cracks me up the kind of the stuff that they come up with in terms of shapes for a cigar. Because I mean, I
Yeah.
think you've seen like the Culebra.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's three cigars like
Oh
tangled
yeah.
it together, and you're supposed to take them apart and smoke them. But yeah, it's just kind of funny what they come up with. And then there's
Yeah.
like the footballs that I've seen. I've seen like people who make
Oh,
like football shaped cigars. And I'm like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, it's and they only come out like during Super Bowls or something like that. Have you
Yep.
ever had the turkey cigars, the white meat and the dark meat? They actually had a
No.
band. I don't know who made them, but all I know is that they had a dark cigar and a light cigar. Like they called it one cigar the dark meat cigar, and which was I think a Maduro, and the other
Oh,
one was more of a medium Connecticut.
yeah. Uh, I don't, the one that I had um, it wasn't called that. It was called I think it was just called the Duo. And it was
Hmm.
by, it was by Fratello. And
Okay.
it was essentially two cigars in one. You could basically cut it down the middle and you got two cigars and
Mm.
two different blends, two different flavor profiles. And you could smoke it all at once, like cut one end and then cut the cap on the other and smoke it as one big cigar, or you could cut it in
Separate.
half. Yeah, separate it, which is what I did. But yeah, I was at TPE in Vegas in 2023 and I met you know, Omar, who owns Fratello, and I met one of his reps at the time. Her name was Crystal, and she passed off that cigar to me and one other. And so
Uh-huh.
yeah, it was a really good smoke. I mean, I enjoyed it, and it was
Yeah,
creative. That's what I really like is that it's creative.
one of those days I gotta get to one of those TPE shows or something like that.
Yeah, PCA is
What?
about to happen right now, actually in
Yeah.
New Orleans. TPE just finished up.
Ah, okay. I don't even I was like, what? I was like, so what is your favorite brand of cigar? Like your are you an AJ Fernandez? Are you a Foundry cigar person or Tahuaje?
I like all of those. Those are, I mean, AJ
Right,
Fernandez, I mean, has never disappointed me. Um, I've enjoyed everything that they put out, and I once I actually got a AJ cigar in my where is it? Got an AJ cigar in my smoke inbox, which is oh yeah, it's the New World Cameroon,
oh, oh,
which
okay.
I've had once before and it was really good. I'll show you while I got it. This is the flathead that I was telling you about, and
Oh, okay. Oh, I
it's
haven't seen that one. Have you
yeah,
ever
it's this.
smoked the CEO spark plug?
No, unfortunately, I have not. I have not smoked a spark plug. I want to. But yeah, that's the speed shop version of the flathead. But AJ's never let me down. I've only had so many Tatuaje cigars because they're pretty premium and they're pretty expensive. Um, but I would say like I'm a huge fan of the boutique cigars, and I don't have any one favorite cigar. I'll say right now the cigars that I've fallen in love with is Cigar Clowns and because they partnered together, and so they're kind of just they married together into one brand. And so yeah, Cigar Clowns and Shafia, they're basically one big family right now. And Cigar
Really?
Clowns, they just put out a new cigar called the Pagliacci, which is
Hmm.
Pagliacci di Cigar, which it just means cigar clowns in Italian. And
Right. Okay.
because they wanted to put out a cigar, as they told me when I had them on, they were saying that like unfortunately not everybody takes them seriously because of the band artwork and stuff like that. It's got,
Right. Yeah.
kind of some circusy themes and stuff, and like their main logo is a guy wearing like a fedora, obviously with clown makeup. He's got kind of mean mugging and he's got a cigar sticking out of his mouth. And they wanted to put out something that was a little bit more, I don't know if elegant is the word, but it's like kind of
Right.
it looks like any cigar you would find in a humidor, with a really nice looking band.
Hmm.
And it just has on the very back of the band has like very subtle, the Cigar Clowns logo. And but yeah, no, these guys they've been doing this for gosh, almost 20 years. But they've really only ever been out there on the market, I think, for the past 10 or something like that.
Right.
And so but yeah, no, they're definitely right now my new favorite brand. Um, Casa Cuevas is a big favorite of mine. I still got a handful of their cigars in my humidor that I've been saving. Um, I love the smaller brands because
Right.
I always end up being surprised at how amazing they are just because smaller brands can take a little bit more time with their product, whereas
Hmm.
bigger brands, not all of them, but some of them, especially the much older brands like the ones that have been around anywhere from 50 to 100 years, um, their quality kind of suffers because they're cranking them out
Yeah.
like
One at
crazy.
a time, like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, they don't give them as much time to rest and age as well as they should because
Right.
I've had boutique brands like where the cigar I'm smoking is $8 and it's better than some of the heritage big name brands that I've smoked ever, even some of the really
Yeah.
more exclusive fancy ones because I've had one Davidoff my entire life.
Oh,
And
I haven't had a Davidoff period.
yeah, well, the only reason why I had this one is because a friend gave it to me and they didn't
Mm.
because they didn't want it. They didn't care for him. And I smoked it and it was good. I mean, I know Davidoff makes great cigars. Even some of the more picky and snooty, the people that I know who don't care as much for big brands, they've smoked some
Right.
Davidoffs and they'd enjoyed them.
Right.
Um, but yeah, the smaller brands always I love supporting the smaller brands just because
Yeah.
they're usually owned by either like a family or a group of friends, and there's a lot of love and passion that goes into them. So, I definitely appreciate smaller brands a lot more.
Yeah. I gotta check out Clown. Was it Clown
Cigar clowns,
Cigars? Cigar
cigar
Clowns.
clowns.
I mean, I follow them on Instagram. I gotta check them out. I gotta like put an order in or something like that. I gotta try their cigars. I always say I'm gonna have to order, I have to order, I have to order, and it's like, you know, I'm like, what is your take on the Viva La Vida line?
Oh, those are good. Gus and Billy, they're good guys. And I tried them when they first came out.
Yeah,
And I've had that and I've had the El Pupo.
yeah,
Um, those are the only cigars I've had. Like some of their newer iterations of the Viva La Vida, I have not tried yet. I might
right.
they like we know each other like on social media and we've communicated in the past. I might hit them up and just say, hey, can I, give it a spotlight on my socials? Because usually like one of the beautiful things about the people in this industry is if you reach out and genuinely wanting to connect and you ask them like, hey, would it be okay if I sampled your cigar or did like a review or did a product highlight on my channel, more often than not they will say, yeah, absolutely, no problem. And
Yeah,
so
they'll
that was how I kind of we initially got connected with Gus and Billy from
cigar
uh
clowns.
not Cigar Clowns, the guys for who do the Viva La Vida.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah,
That's
so this
good.
was this was years
Is
ago.
that like
So
a AJ Fernandez brand?
they distributed it. Um, and my old brain is blanking so hard on so many things right now. But give me one second because they have a company name. It's not just Viva La Vida.
Right.
Um, hold on one second. Artisanal del Tobacco.
Mm. Okay.
That is the name of their brand. And yeah, they made the Viva La Vida and AJ helped them blend it and distribute it and stuff. And so yeah, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure AJ still distributes them.
Right.
Um, but yeah, they're their own company, Artisanal del
Yeah.
Tobacco. And
AJ is like one of my top top three. I
mhm.
tried the last one I smoked from AJ. I mean, the burn is perfect. It holds an ash like nobody's business, basically.
Oh yeah.
Tahoe Day is the same thing. Um, like even when I struggle to like tap the ash, it won't go
Yeah.
because it's so strong. I was like, what the hell? I was like, whatever. And but when you go into a humidor, I was like, what do you look for? Do you look for something that catches your eye? Is if the band pops?
I definitely do look at the band and stuff like that. The thing about a lot of humidors in California is there's definitely a mix. Like there's two or three local lounges that actually carry a good amount of boutiques as well as popular brands, like
Right,
more well-known brands. Um, and so it can be a toss up between like smoking something that I already know that I'm gonna like, or rolling the dice on something that I haven't tried yet. And it's like it's a
right,
combination of those two things as well as price point. Because
right,
whenever I go to a lounge, I always buy a cigar, no matter what.
right,
Um, and I usually the price point, I keep it in between like 12 and $16. Um,
right,
just so that way, one, I know I'm getting a good cigar, and two, I don't go nuts because, again, California tobacco tax, and just how they, have to price it out in order to be able to actually, make their money back is,
right.
it's rough, but I would say like, I try to find something different or something I haven't smoked before. Sometimes it's the band, sometimes it's just the brand name, one that I've heard about that I haven't tried. So it just depends. I don't visit lounges as often as I would like. It's something that I really need to do more often. Um, but yeah, it's a combination of things, and it also depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
So, what now with the band and all that? When is it a good time to take the band off?
I usually slip the band off when it's like maybe like less than half an inch away. The burn is less than half an inch away from the band, and I just slide it off because there are times I wasn't paying
Okay.
attention and I forgot, and then I start to see that I'm like toasting the band because I save almost all
Oh,
my cigar bands.
oh yeah. I
Yeah,
did that once a while. I was thinking of making a collage of bands and all that, and I was like, now it's getting too much. And like
yeah,
I was gonna
I
sort
thought
things
about that
out.
too. Yeah,
I was
I
thinking
thought
of
about doing
doing
this.
something like that.
Yeah. And maybe I'll get around to it one of these days because I got bands in a box over here. I got bands in a jar over here. I got a
Wow.
ton of them, and I haven't done anything with them. Like we're talking about almost like 8 years worth of bands being collected.
Wow.
Uh,
Holy Christmas.
yeah, which I mean, it sounds like a lot, but honestly, if you look at it, I mean, it's still quite a bit, but it's not like this massive, box or bucket full of bands. I need to actually finally do something with them because so far I haven't done a damn thing. So
Yeah. So what is your now when you go to a lounge and whatever, I was like, how many sticks do you buy? It depends on the price point, I'm assuming.
usually just one because, I'm only there for a little bit and, I'm gonna smoke whatever I buy.
Right,
Because a lot of lounges have cracked down on people who bring their own cigars.
right,
Either it's completely not allowed or they charge you a cutting fee, which I mean, either way, I mean, I'll pay the cutting fee if that's necessary. Let's just say I don't have really much money to spend on a cigar at the time, but I want to come hang out in the lounge. If there's like a cutting fee, it's usually like 10 to $15, depending on where you go. Usually the higher profile lounges, they'll charge you a pretty, considerable cutting fee. I went to a lounge in Beverly Hills with my buddy Miguel late last year, and yeah, the cutting fee was just ridiculous. And thankfully he was kind enough to pay it because he was from out of town and he was
right.
visiting. So he's just like, yeah, I got it, man. I got it covered. And so I was like, all right, well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. So yeah, it was quite a bit. I mean, it's Beverly Hills. So, you know,
So as we talk about bands, have you ever smoked a Blackbird?
No, I haven't. Not yet. I want
Oh,
to, but I haven't. And that's what's that brand that makes is it Blackbird cigars?
yeah, Blackbird cigars. Jonas is the one of the. I think he's the owner and all that. He
Hmm.
was just on Cigar Public
Mm.
with Nick, and I was like, I mean, it's a good cigar and all that. I tried the Jackdaw. I actually, I was talking, they don't have a podcast anymore. He was doing business with him, and
Hmm.
it was a podcast down in Houston.
Yeah,
I asked him, I was like, I'm looking for a cigar. I was like, I don't want to go. And was it? I tried the Cuco, I tried the Macaw, and they threw an extra cigar in there, and I wound up getting a whole bunch of stuff from him and all that, which was
yeah,
like you said. I was like, they give it like if they could give out the whole entire like the kitchen sink, they would if
yeah.
getting publicity and all that. Um, their bands are like ridiculous. It almost takes up the whole entire cigar.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
I've
like,
noticed
nah.
that.
What's your take on foot bands?
You know, um, they kind of just
Now,
add to the aesthetic, and that's really it.
my question is, have you ever forgot to take the foot band off and lit the cigar?
I think once, and that
Oh,
was all
okay.
it took for me. That was all it took for me to not do it again because I'm like, dude, you're gonna ruin the flavor of the cigar. You're gonna,
Oh yeah, I
light
did that
yourself
once.
on
I was like,
fire.
and I was like, oh fuck. And my wife is like, what's the matter? I was like, I lit the foot. I was like, aren't you supposed to light the foot? I was like, no, the band. She goes, you're an idiot. And
Like if it's
now
paper, it's
if
not a huge deal. Like if it's the paper band, it's not a massive deal. But if it's the fabric band, then yeah, that's
yeah,
bad.
I think mine was the fabric and it
Mm,
annoyed the crap out of me. I was like, ah, and I'm getting burned trying to take off the band. I was like, now let me see. Let me see if
you
I could take it off.
you know, I actually accidentally lit my beard on fire once when I was lighting a cigar.
Oh yeah. I mean, I had a when at the time I had a not the quarantine beard. I had a what is it, sober beard where I stopped drinking, so I kept my beard long. And my wife is like, "When are you gonna cut it off?" If you ever watched WWE back in the day, Jim Dana Anvil Nightheart, I had like the whole entire Nightheart thing, and she goes,
Yeah.
and it was good for her because every time when I pissed her off, she would grab the bottom of my beard and pull me. I was like, "Stop! That
Oh
hurts."
my gosh. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So we're
Yeah, no.
coming to the end of the podcast. My question to you is, if you could smoke a cigar with anybody, past or present, who would it be?
James Hetfield from Metallica.
Ooh, you know they have their own cigar, right?
Yeah, I got two of them in my humidor. I got their Connecticut, which is the M84 blackened, and I have the M81 blackened, which I've only had the M81.
Right.
Um, I had a box of them like sent to me by a buddy who used to work at Drew Estate.
Ah,
And
okay.
just before he left to go work at Camacho, he had a box sent to me. Um, just because I said I just want to review the cigar. I didn't ask for a box. I just said I want to review the cigar, and he sent me a full box of it. So I made that last as long as possible, and I'm down to my last M81, which I'm
Wow.
just letting mellow in the humidor. I don't want to smoke it yet.
You don't want to smoke it. You would smoke it with a like when the occasion is right, bust that one out.
Yes,
Like
yes. Which I don't.
if your son graduates high school or something like that.
I might smoke it because my son is wrap about to wrap up his first year in junior high, so that might be a when he graduates junior high cigar. So we'll see.
Oh, well, yeah, that would be good and all
Yeah.
that. So, um, also, what's your take on Camachos?
I've only smoked a couple of them and they're good. I actually also have one in my humidor that came with my last smoke in box. Um, but the times that I've smoked them, I mean, they're made by Davidoff.
Mm,
So, there's definitely quality to them, but I haven't smoked enough of them to really have a full opinion.
right. I'm the same way. I was like, when I see Camachos, I'm like, should I, shouldn't I, should I, should I? Because I think I had one bad experience once.
Yeah.
I'm not really, I might have to play that one back, smoke that
No,
one back.
absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one whenever I end up smoking it. So we'll just have to see. So, what about you?
So,
Who would you smoke with, past, present?
I would say either Winston Churchill
Okay.
or who Milton Berle.
Oh, okay. All
He
right.
said that one time, I think it was on David Letterman, he smokes like 16 cigars a day or something like that. I don't know if he smokes the little ones or the big ones or whatever, but at that age, golly, no, whatever, it doesn't matter.
That makes me think of George Burns because he said he smoked like 15 to 20 cigars a day and he lived to be almost 100.
Yeah, basically, and all that. So, so as we come to an end, Kyle, I was like, "This is your time to shine." I was like, where can they find you guys? Find all social media, where they can find you guys.
Okay, so yeah, just I'm mainly on Instagram. I do have a TikTok and I'm trying to like utilize that more for my cigar stuff. Smoke and Revelry is the name of my brand, and so it's just all one word, Smoke and Revelry on Instagram and on TikTok. Also on YouTube. So if you want to check out some of my content there, I haven't posted anything in a while, but I'm gonna try and, especially with the podcast coming back, I'm gonna fix that. Um, the Revelers Rule podcast, you can find it on that same YouTube, but I'm also on Spotify.
Right. And all that. And you can catch me on, was it April 17th, I think, right?
Yes,
It should
April
be out.
17th. Yeah, you're going to be on you'll find John on my podcast on April 17th, which is a week from this Friday. So,
Right. And Kyle, I like you. Thank you for jumping on, and we'll catch up
for
and all
sure.
that. And hopefully I'll get you
Absolutely.
on my other podcast when I get my co-host to actually friggin' do something. But now, hey, Mr. Rick, don't leave me. So as for me and Beans, Leaves, and Greens and Kyle from Smoke and Reverly, smoking if you got them, I will talk to you on the other side. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.